Hey, what's going on, everybody? Another episode of After Dark Takeover. Our friends, as you can see from Dark Hills Events, are here. Link to their Facebook group is in the description of this video. Please go over, check out the crazy stuff they do. Weekly or monthly, they do a live role-playing game with various actors. Last week, if you know, I played with them, and this week they brought their version of a game with us. So let's go around and everybody introduce everybody. We'll start with the man next to me, Mr. Alan.
Woo! Aloha, everyone. I am here. I'm excited to be doing this. I'll do a lot of role-playing stuff, so I'm excited. Once I saw Matt having a good time with these folks, I asked to jump in here, especially that you brought the horror icons. I know it. So I'm excited. Let's do this.
And Mr. RJ McCready.
What's up, guys? Nope. But I am here, and I'm excited. There you go. Excited to play as the Thing. I'm excited to roleplay in general. I think the RPGs are cool. And the one from last week is really awesome, the Hannibal one that these guys put on. So just excited to be in one of their games.
And we'll go next to the Mandalorians.
This is the way.
Yeah, this is the way, guys. This is a wild night. We didn't have the soundboard working until like 5 minutes ago, so this is the way. We're like the Razor Crest here. It's always falling apart. We're building it back up, though. And we got Baby Yoda. Grab Baby Yoda, Devin. Next to you. Grab him. Grab him. Not inappropriately. Grab him. Grab him. Come on. Oh, you threw him. What the fuck?
Show us on the doll where he touched you.
He threw him. He threw him.
All right, and next up, Aaron.
Hi. I don't know why I'm here tonight, but what I've realized is that Nikki and Devin are basically just Waldorf and Statler, except younger.
All right, so I'm going to turn.
That was not scripted, guys. I did not know he was going to throw the baby. I think Matty died.
On my face. Hello.
All right, so guys, we are here and we are waiting for Matty G. So everybody, Aaron, can you work the camera so that we got all of us up there and we're not just on your face?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, everybody, not just me.
You wanna?
Okay. Everybody, come on, there you go. No, do the wide angle so we can actually see my face now.
Okay.
We don't want to go close up, but we want to see my face, Aaron. Come on. All right, Matty's back. Oh no, he's not.
No, not really.
So yeah, Devin did throw Baby Yoda. We're happy to have you here, Patrick and Michael, Dracula as well. I'm just realizing that those aren't your real names.
Maybe they are. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
So yeah, next we'll go to our special guests. You on the top left with the beard.
Oh God, Nikki.
Wow.
Me?
Big Red?
Yeah.
Big Red up there?
Oh,
Big Red.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm a game master. You could call me Joe Thulu because I have no better name. I'm from Dark Hills Events. We do immersive events, especially horror events. But it's the pandemic, so now we're doing RPGs, my first love. And tonight we're gonna watch you guys kill each other via RPG.
I'm sure I'm the one everybody wants to kill right now. I mean, we are having some technical difficulties. Matty G is not with us. He studies the names of these people. He was on a show with them last week. I just watched the show, and I didn't remember anybody's name. And look at the screen. Look at their names. They have fake names. So it's very confusing for me. Aaron, can you please take over?
Yes, to give our game master a proper introduction for basically running our show tonight, Mr. Joey Patine is with us. Hope I pronounced that right.
I don't really give a shit. Like I said,
I'm so sorry.
I am Joe Thulu. I am the game master with all the game.
That's all.
All right, and joining us right underneath me with a stare as cold as the man he's playing, Mr. Stephen Edward Cook.
Yep, I'm playing Patrick Bateman tonight. I don't play a lot of role-playing games, but I joined Matty for the Hannibal game last week, which I thought was a lot of fun.
Wow.
And apparently, by the sounds of the pregame, him being left with you included him taking his shirt off. Would you say some sexual tension definitely developed there between you two?
What?
All right, cool. I've done my job. It took 6 minutes to break you guys. I'm done for the night.
All right, now we're going back to me because Aaron made it awkward. Over on the right of me, on the left of the screen, on the right of me, this is very confusing. We have Michael Myers and Dracula.
Yes.
I know that's not your real names, and I know you're special guests, but I'm terrible with names, and Maddie's supposed to be here.
I know, that's fine. I'm Christina Michael for tonight, Michael Myers. I work with Joe. I'm one of the
Big fan of your work.
Dark Hills events. So, this is actually only my third RPG, so please bear with me. It's going to be very interesting. And I will turn it over to my colleague on the screen, Mr. Dracula himself.
Dracula's very scary.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm Kyle. I've been playing RPGs with Joe and Christina for quite some time, and I'm one of the Dark Hills faithful since day one. So, hi.
All right. So we're waiting for Maddie. Aaron, if you can message Maddie, I will riff. So what we usually
did you already kill somebody?
Did I already kill someone? Yeah, he's dead. He's done. Now, if I was going to kill someone, I would have made more of a show of it. I would have used one of my chainsaws or gloves or something like that. So no, he's technical.
And I think he would have killed me.
Don't beat yourself up so, man, Nikki and/or Devin. I'm not sure which one is which.
Guy with the beard. Our names are in the right place. We were honest about who we are. We are forthcoming about our names. We don't hide behind the shadows of Michael Myers and Dracula.
Sorry, guys.
Oh my God, Matty.
Sorry.
All right, I take that very seriously.
I apologize. My internet run over.
What is that sound? Oh my God.
What sound?
Oh, thank God.
There's a real bad echo.
That was
why this isn't the horror game. That actually comes.
That was the score to Scream, I think, or Psycho. Yeah.
All right, guys. Sorry. So now that I'm back, I've got everything fixed. I apologize, guys. It's my fault. The floor is yours, good sir.
I'm sorry?
What? Who? What?
I said the floor is Joey.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I did not hear you at all, and I absolutely apologize. Okay. So we are playing a game tonight that I call Horror Show. Is it a game of my own design? It is where people play the monsters. Each of our players that you see on screen have chosen a famous horror icon. They are going to use that horror icon to kill people and then kill each other. They get more points the more people they kill and the weapons that they pick up. So, randomly doing it, our first matchup is between the Butcher from down south, Thomas Sawyer, or sometimes known as Bubba, depending on what where you're coming from. But we will have Leatherface going toe-to-toe with his old enemy, Dracula. Look, this was all randomized. So let's get everyone else off screen except for Leatherface and Dracula.
And you should say.
And me. I mean, and me. Obviously, I should be able to talk.
Start of the show, right?
But okay, so we start down south, deep in the heart of Texas. All right. A delivery van is making some of its final deliveries with some interesting parcels in the back. All right. Including a very large parcel It almost looks like a coffin. And it is just passing down a lonely highway. It has gone by a graveyard, and off to the right, far off in the middle of a field, is a beautiful house with a couple broken down cars strewn amongst the field. So the delivery driver is on the move, and I guess the real question is, who wants to go first? Oh, and if it helps, fuck you both. Fuck you both. Go ahead, guys.
Oh, great. Well, how advantage? I'm going to let Leatherface go first.
Sure.
Alrighty. So I am going to use Seeker.
Okay.
And I'm going to approach the back doors of the van.
All right, so the van is on the move at the moment.
Okay.
Driving. But I'm sure that wouldn't stop a clever and creative man such as yourself.
Of course not. Since we're out in the middle of the woods, or out in the middle of, nowhere.
Texas.
Yep. I'm ahead of them. I'm going to put a big rock in the middle of the street.
Okay. All right. So at some point, you put a large rock in the middle of the street. The delivery driver is driving down the road, and he sees a large rock in the middle of the street. And he's just going to drive onto the grass and go around it. So the delivery driver drives his vehicle onto the grass and goes around it. There is a heavy bumping, and the packages in the back bump around. If there was someone sleeping in a package in the back, they might be awoken.
That's not a good idea. Just to assume we are talking, we're past off, right?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter? Good point.
You said Bram Stoker.
That's a good point. Okay. Then, in that case, I will slowly claw my way out of here, pushing past the meatpacking plant and all that bullshit.
So, in the dark bowels of a UPS truck, a withered and clawed hand pushes aside the lid of a crate with very much ease. And then, standing up of their own accord in that cool, floaty Gary Oldman style, is an old man with a strange hairdo and flowing red robes. And how do you proceed?
I will choose to use turn to feed and make the delivery person a vampire.
Okay, so you slowly approach. Can you do me a favor and give me a roll? So for those of you watching, they all have a set number of powers. They have to roll for each power. We're keeping it super simple. This is really just competitive creative storytelling at this point. What'd you get?
14.
All right. You approach the front of the truck. However, the truck starts careening around. It goes over something, and all four tires go flat at once, as if there was something in the road, something meant to stop the truck, something far more effective than a big rock. Okay? The truck careens sideways. It does a little skid around. However, it does stay upright. It goes off the road. Dracula, you stay perfectly still because you're Dracula. It doesn't really faze you, but it does stop you. Okay, so the truck has careened off the road. Who's moving first? Who's moving fast?
Ooh, you know what? That would be me.
Leatherface, you went. So let's see what you got.
All right, so I'm going to use Stalker to catch up to the van.
Okay, and do what?
And I'm going to use Super Strength to basically rip the door off.
Okay, cool. So this poor UPS driver is like, what the hell was that? And then, boom. And I'm assuming...
Yeah, I'm going to use my special friend here. You know, mine's green, so it's a lot nicer.
No, yeah, these are totally the same. I like it.
Absolutely. I love my son's stash of toys in this room. And then
go ahead.
And then I'll roll. I'm assuming you want me to roll.
Yeah, absolutely. So give me a roll and add 5 for using your chainsaw.
Alrighty, I have a 12, so 17.
Okay, you go forward with your chainsaw, but the delivery driver lives in fucking Texas. As you go forward, he takes out a shotgun that he has just beside his seat, aims and fires. The blast knocks you back onto your ass. Dracula, do you want to do anything?
At this point, I'm going to use Shadow to kind of become one with the shadows on the inside of the truck. I've got 10.
Okay, are you just trying to hide? Or?
Just trying to hide.
Okay, so you slink backwards into the dark of the truck. All right, the delivery man stops, catches his breath. Holy crap, his door's been ripped off, his tires are flat, and some weird fucker with a chainsaw and a disgusting mask just tried to kill him. Leatherface, you lie in the middle of the road / grass. There's blood all over you, although it's hard to tell if it's your blood or another person's blood, as your apron is stained with gore. The delivery driver, gun still in hand, walks over to your body. Who would like to go?
I'm going to go, and I'm going to use stun to knock him out.
All right, roll again.
All right. 18.
All right, so you bolt up in that scary fucking way that Leatherface does. You grab the guy by his lapel, whatever it is. You bring him down, slam his head against the ground, and he is out like a light. Dracula, you hear all of this in the bowels of the truck. Still waiting?
Still waiting.
All right, Leatherface, what do you do with the body?
I'm going to drag his ass back to the house.
Okay. And you're leaving the truck here?
Yep, I'm leaving the truck alone for now. I'm going to, use him, and I'm going to take him back to the basement, basically.
Okay, Dracula, you smell blood, but you hear things going further away. Dracula, did you want to do something?
I'm going to use bats and turn into a swarm to kind of go up into the sky and basically stalk them from afar.
Okay, cool. There is a strange flutter and a noise from the van, and you look to see a swarm of bats fly out from this delivery van up into the daytime sky of Texas. It's pretty fucking weird, but whatever. It's Texas, right, Leatherface?
Hey, whatever. All right, so we're back in the basement. Now I'm going to use super strength, and I'm going to take him out.
Like on a date or like to the movies?
I'm going to kill this man. I'm going to take my favorite weapon, and I'm going to dismember him, starting with the arms, the legs, and then I will add a new face mask.
Okay, yeah, I like where you're going with this. So to add a little more gore to this, you drag him into the dark and dingy house that smells of awful. You take him down to your special place in the basement. Immediately down there, you hoist the unconscious man up onto a meat hook, it immediately cutting into the flesh of his back, and he awakens and screams. And you begin to cut, starting with the arms, then moving on to the legs. But you don't just cut them off. If you've ever cut a turkey, you kind of want to go along with the bone. So large chunks of flesh come on. You immediately put them in salt and a little bit of brine for flavor. You're a cannibal, not a fucking heathen, all right? With the arms and legs off, he doesn't have very long left. But you let it take time. Because it's fun, because the fright and the squeal puts a little more flavor in them. And finally, when he's bled out, when there's barely any meat left on his bones, you put down the chainsaw, you pick up a small knife, and you begin to cut around the side of the face until you have yourself a nice UPS driver mask. First point and first blood goes to Leatherface. Leatherface, you are a little bit stronger than you were a second ago. Dracula, you obviously stalked them back to the house. The house smells of death.
All right, well, I should feel at home then. Can I use any senses to see if there's anyone in the home beyond just what I believe is the delivery man and this psycho?
You're a bat. Go ahead. Give me a roll.
All right. 8.
It doesn't seem like there's anyone else home right now. It does seem like other people live here. However, there is a couple cop cars approaching. 4. That's very strange. Dracula, you gonna do anything?
Yes, I'm going to basically. Yes, I'm going to use a shadow to kind of blend into the shade of the tree, and basically I'm going to lay in wait for the cops, see if there's anything I can pull into my waiting jaws.
Okay. Leatherface, you have done your usual song and dance when there is a heavy knock at the door. What do you do? Or Dracula, what do you do? Dracula, you're outside. You see about 8 policemen coming from 8 different vehicles, weapons already drawn. Inside the back of one of the police cars is a very frightened looking young girl covered in blood, perhaps the reason that they're here in the first place. So whoever wants to go first, Leatherface, this is your home, but Dracula, you're outside.
I'm outside, so I'm going to go first on this. I am going to leap from the shadows and try and turn the nearest police officer.
Okay. Roll.
17.
Okay. Dracula, you come forth from the shadows, all floaty in robes and white hair and long nails. And a cop turns and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then they open fire and you are riddled with bullets in your face, in your head, in your chest. And you fall to the ground, chunks of flesh having been shot off. The cops stop, looking over your looking over your body. Leatherface, you hear a shit ton of gunfire out front. You gonna do anything about this?
I am. I'm going to. I am going to use Seeker, and I'm going to come up from behind, and I'm going to again use my favorite toy and start hacking up some cops.
You're gonna start hacking up some cops?
I am.
Okay. So come on out and give me a roll.
All right. And you are 16.
You said 16?
I did.
Okay. You come out, and you immediately you take out 2 cops, bringing your total of things up a little bit. Doing a little math here, folks. Bear with me.
Guys, maths is hard.
Yes. So you cut 2 police officers in tway. Leatherface, you are still sort of in the lead of power here. Dracula, you're on the ground riddled with bullets. You want to give anything else a try?
You know what? I will see what I can do about. Well, I mean, I could make the case of like I'm going to go to mist or whatever, but let's stay with what you gave me. I'm going to try and start crawling away towards the police car with the bloody girl.
Okay. Dracula, you successfully crawl away. Leatherface, you've taken out 2 of the 8 cops. You going for more?
Yeah, let's go for more, shall we? Let's roll. All right, here we go. Big money, big money, big money. 12.
Holy crap. Okay. You take out another cop. This time you bring the chainsaw up high. You come straight down, hits right in the middle of the head, and straight down. Twain, Mark Twain, you've definitely cut some people up. Once again, you are doing really well, Leatherface. Doing really well. Dracula, you have made it to the car. What do you do?
I'm going to try and wrench off the door and then feed/turn on the girl. Rolling. That's 13.
Okay, Dracula, you pop up riddled with bullets, pull the freaking door off its hinges, and you feed, giving yourself a little more power than you had a second ago. Leatherface, you're still in the lead here. So Leatherface, you killed 3 people, but your weird, like, pig cannibal senses have picked up something strange. An old man has just popped up out of the grass and is eating a girl. Possibly your girl, Leatherface. Girls are your thing, you know?
I'm going after that. I'm going over to that son-bitch, and I'm going to show him what steel tastes like.
You just going chainsaw crazy on him?
Yep, I'm gonna add super strength to this chainsaw, and we're gonna give it a roll. And I keep forgetting to add my 5 to it, so I have 25 this roll.
Okay, you go forward. Some cops turn to stop you, but you take out another 2. Dracula, you what do you want to try to do anything?
Yes, I'm going to go to bats and basically kind of part around him.
Okay, roll. Okay, you turn into a bunch of bats. Leatherface, you hack up a couple of bats. It hurts you a little bit, but not too much. Leatherface, no, Dracula, I'm going to go back to you.
All right. Are there any cops left?
Yeah, there's 3 cops left.
All right. I'm going to then attempt to turn one of the cops.
Okay, go.
16.
Okay, you feed on a cop. You are able to turn them. Leatherface, 2 cops left. And that dude turned into bats and then turned into a dude again and ate a cop. Now what are you going to do, Leatherface? It doesn't look like your usual screaming and chainsaw speed is going to work.
Well, then I'm going to use Stalker, and I'm going to take out the other 2 cops. So it's just him and I. So let's see what the dice do. And 7 would be 12.
Okay. Did you add your 5?
I did.
Okay. Well, you did a bad roll that time then. You go forward, but this time the cops are at the ready, and they start riddling you with bullets, giving you a chance, Dracula, to get the upper hand here. What do you want to do?
All right. You know what? If he's riddled with bullets, I'm going to see what we can do about taking on the big bad here. So I would like to go from dude to one huge bat and see if I can use my legs to kind of pull him up in the air with me.
Roll.
Roll it. Damn it. 7.
That was better than my roll.
Okay.
So you turn into a man bat is the best description, possibly a werebat. For any of you who've seen Bram Stoker's Dracula, it's a really cool fucking moment. All right? You take flight, renewed with energy, grab this huge dude that smells of death, and you lift him into the air. Leatherface, you've just been shot a couple times, and now you are going up. What are you going to do about it, Leatherface?
I'm going to try and use stun and knock myself out of his hands.
Okay.
I'm going to add super strength to that as well.
All right. What are you hitting with?
I'm just, right now, I'm going to use my arms, kind of like punch upward, see if I can't like hit him in the vampire nards and see if he'll let me go.
Roll.
14.
Leatherface, roll.
Yep, 12.
Okay. You go up. You do manage to thwap Manbat or Dracula in the face, and he does let go of you as he keeps going up. And you go down. You hit the ground hard, Leatherface. You think you've broken at least a rib.
So for now, I'm going to back into the house. I want to go back into my little basement area.
He's heading back into the house, Dracula. What are you going to do?
If my one vampire that I turned is still there and between him and the house, I'd like to
roll.
Well, that didn't work out. 1.
Okay, yeah. Leatherface, you make it back into the house, and you're just heading down to your safe place, Leatherface?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to my safe place. If he wants to fight, he can come to me.
All right. I will walk into the house, use turn shadow to become the shadows of the house.
Okay, all right. Leatherface, you no longer feel as if you're alone. Is there anything you want to do, Leatherface? Is there anything you want to do, Dracula?
Yes, I'm going to use Seeker and find him.
All right, so you are in the dark of your basement. You feel as if someone is watching you, and what do?
I'm going to use stun and knock him out.
Okay, what do you want to try to do?
I'm going to be in the wrong. He's going to shoot the wrong shadow, and I'm going to try and come out from behind him.
Okay, both of you roll, please.
20.
Damn it, 18.
Okay. He actually goes for the wrong shadow first, but then he corrects, turns. This time he manages to connect successfully, and Dracula, you are unconscious.
He's going on that hook. He's going on that hook.
You immediately wake back up when you feel this man is very light, by the way. You are lifted onto a meat hook, Dracula. Is there anything you want to try to do, Dracula?
Again, I'm going to.
Time out. There's part to this hook. I want that hook going through his shoulder. So he is on that hook.
Okay, that's fair enough. Go ahead, Dracula.
I'm going to go into a burst of bats and then escape
Roll.
Rolling. That is 9.
Okay. You put it through his shoulder, but then he turns into a swarm of bats. Leatherface, do you want to try to do anything?
Yeah, you know what? Let's just pick up the chainsaw and just start swinging. You know, at the end of like of 2 where I'm just swinging it like a crazy person. And we
Roll
have
for me.
20 plus 5, which would be 25.
So you you are literally chopping bats in half, little bits here, little bits there. You reach out, you grab a bat with your bare hand, it's flopping around, you bite its fucking head off like Ozzy Osbourne, spit it out, and our winner for round 1, ladies and gentlemen, is Leatherface.
Vroom, motherfucker. Vroom.
Sweet. Okay.
All right, so now, Joey, we're going to take a time out before we go to the next game. We're going to bring your people together. We're going to bring all of us together. We're going to talk before we get the next little melee going and get to know you and your crew a little better. So, how did you guys come? I'm going to ask the first question that we normally do. How did you guys come up with this idea of? I mean, obviously quarantine and so forth, but what do you guys do outside of quarantine?
Sure. It was about 4 years ago. It was October. It was going to be the first Friday the 13th in October in a long time. Literally called
October 13th. That is my birthday, by the way. Just
nice, yeah,
Really happy birthday to you.
Wish you'd been there. But I like horror movies, and I've always wanted to scare the shit out of people, Jason style. Every time I've watched a Jason movie, I've wanted to do it. So sometime around September, I called my friend Christina, and I said, "Do you want to do a Friday the 13th event with me?" So we built and designed our first ever Friday the 13th event. We rented a summer camp. We had about 12 people, all of which were our friends. And we did our first ever, what would become Camp Blood.
That's awesome. Okay, so with Camp Blood, is it a hands-on sort of experience, or is it a...
You can take this one, Christina.
Oh, it's very hands-on. So basically, you come in throughout the day, you check in, we give you your cabin.
You do summer camp activities.
Arts and crafts, dodgeball, kickball, all that fun stuff. And then at night, after the campfire, things get a little bit creepy, a little bit spooky. So at some point, Jason's going to come after you, and your goal then is to survive the night.
Yeah. If you've ever seen a horror movie, it is the closest thing to being in a real horror movie. We have a class that teaches you how to fight back, how to survive. We have special setup weapons, and our plots are always different. So even though we've done 5 Camp Bloods.
Yeah, it's always different each time.
Yeah, so there's always a different way to kill Jason, different way to survive. Actually, Patrick Bateman down there, who has changed his clothes, I like it.
To one of our events.
Me too.
Yes. Steven was at our Halloween event last year, which was a Scream-themed event. So Steven can actually tell you what it's like from the audience side instead of from our side.
It's not
Traumatizing.
13.
Traumatizing.
A couple different things. We've done Pennywise, we've done Scream, we've done Jason and Michael.
Yep.
So it's not just Friday the 13th. But, we change it up and we try to incorporate all those different movies, the things that people love, because we love them too, and we want to give the audience and our fans and our friends, we want to give them that experience.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we had a lot of awesome shit planned for this year, including a Friday the 13th event at one of the places they filmed one of the movies. We were going to do this huge zombie event. We had a Buffy the Vampire event planned.
had a Nightmare on Elm Street event planned with some of the Nightmare Girls at a convention. Unfortunately, that was canceled because of COVID.
And we had a Texas Chainsaw event that was going to be our first ever splatter event, meaning if you came, you'd need to be prepared to be sprayed with blood.
No. See, that's
postponed though. Nothing canceled, all postponed.
Yes.
These things will happen. Once COVID is over, we will get these things back on the calendar, folks.
Yep.
And see, that's actually semi how Steven and I met. We met through one of these horror groups. I saw his picture and I'm like, hey, I've been choked out by Santa before. That's pretty cool. So have you. And as you probably guessed, I'm a huge fan of the extreme experiences, and there's one locally here in Arizona that I've done a few times. Like, it's run by friends of mine, so I get to kind of play guinea pig. One of them, they actually put me in a room, blindfolded with headphones on, in a chair, and had somebody walk past me, and they would take the headphones off in pitch black, run their hand over my shoulder, talk to me, and walk away. And I sat in that room felt like 45 minutes by myself. It was terrifying.
I'll bet.
No, I'm good.
So, guys, do you guys want to ask them anything before we keep going? Alan,
I'd say let's just put you on the road.
Oh, I always got questions. So when do you have a cast as people as far as playing certain roles, and how many people per? So you said you had 12 people that were participants. How many people are in your cast as far as interacting with them?
So it varies. Our staff or NPCs grow depending on the size of our audience. We have had large events with upwards of 80 people, and we have had a staff of like 12 to 20 at times.
Something like
Wow.
that.
It also depends on what we're trying to pull off. You want to give a specific feel. We want you to feel like you're in the movie. So if you come to a Camp Blood, you're not just running from Jason. You're going to run from Jason, and then you're going to turn to find that Jason's right fucking behind you or right in front of you, you know?
Nice.
What do you make the blood out of?
Lots of different things. It depends on what we're using it for.
It depends if we're trying to just use it for show or if people might get it in their mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have asked for do you make your own blood? And I guess the answer to that would have been yes. I like that.
Of course, yeah.
Trust me, having being turned upside down, blindfolded, and forced blood and stuff down your throat or over your face, waterboard style, it's not fun. Steven can attest to that, I'm sure. All right, guys. Alan, you want to do one more, and then we'll jump back into the game?
What do they have? I'm sure there's a consent kind of thing. You guys have them sign things like that. Have you thought of anything that would be? The reason I ask this, that would be COVID kind of compliance in a way. And the reason I ask this is because I'm directing a production of Hitchcock's stage version of The Birds.
Oh, nice.
And I'm using kind of masks and distance as a way to feel trapped, and the audience is going to be in their cars, so it's going to be a drive-through experience or a drive-in experience, a live theater. And so, and how often do you kind of consent-wise, if you guys are more hands-on, have you thought about ways to do COVID compliant stuff, or is it just too hard to do that?
We've considered it. The thing, I mean, we always go for a specific feel. We want people to feel like they're in a horror movie, like they can fight back against the monster, like they can use their wits to try to survive.
And we want to give people that real kill type feeling. So, if Jesus comes at you with a machete, he's really coming at you. Or like if Leatherface is, coming at you with a chainsaw, you are getting slashed with that chainsaw. So it's a little bit difficult to come up with, in-person events that are COVID, compliant.
It just sort of lacks something.
Definitely.
Events to suffer from that, which is why we're really trying to.
That makes total sense.
Virtual events for now. Yeah.
I'm still volunteering for the hostel one. Sign me up any day. You You can put me in a chair, and you guys can torture me any day. Let's sign it up right now.
That's what McCamey Manor is for.
No. Don't say that word in this. No.
To be honest,
push the button. What the hell?
We are not really an extreme haunt. We're not there to make people feel uncomfortable. Our goal is immersion. We want you to feel like you're in your favorite horror movie, and we want you to enjoy it. Like, what do you love?
Nice.
Yeah. So like when we had our event, the whole point of our event was working with your friends to kill Pennywise. The whole point of our Scream event was getting crazy phone calls and also booking it from Ghostface as he chased you around, you know?
That's like fun. Like,
That does.
Ghostface was oh, man. Even Natalia, I mean, Ghostface was all over the place.
Nice.
If I could speak on that, I would say like I was never touched once in the Scream event, but it's probably the most intense thing I've been through.
Really?
Like yeah, I've been like choked by Will Wakefield before, but like running through those woods and like the mask just coming out of the darkness and you never know where it's gonna be. It's something
the psychological portion of it.
Oh, yeah.
My friend once said that Jason coming out of the woods is never not scary. And like when you're doing something extreme, you're like, you kind of know a little bit. You're like, you know what you're getting into. But the people who come to this thing, it's like when you're out there alone, when you can't see who's stalking you, your brain is just constantly at the ready. Every sound, like, I am a killer and I'm scared in the middle of those fucking woods. You're in the middle of nowhere. It is pitch black. It's terrifying. But thank you, Steven. That makes me feel really good. Also, hey, Chris Smith.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them in the grid. All right, Mr. Game Master, who do you want next?
Okay, our next matchup will be between Patrick Bateman and the Crystal Lake Killer himself.
Apparently.
Yep.
All right, let's do this.
It is a beautiful summer afternoon at Camp Crystal Lake, which has just reopened, not as a summer camp, but in fact as a work retreat, helping high-level businessmen and their employees learn to synergize and work together. Patrick, you were actually there at Camp Crystal Lake to work with your fellow teammates and, I don't know, get to know them better or whatever. You guys know the deal. One of you's dead, one of you isn't. Start killing people. Whoever wants to go first.
Well, their first night after their first team building experiences they were doing, as I've been watching them all day doing these ridiculous activities, I get creative and think of ways to further combine them. So there's two of them sleeping in sleeping bags, and I proceed to take one and smash it against the other.
Ooh, I like this. I like this. So we're going to have you use your super strength, my dear friend Jason.
Yes.
So do me a favor and give me a roll of your D20.
I got a 14.
All right. So after a day of weird exercises in the middle of the night, the businessmen get into their quaint little sleeping bags. After they had like a 2-hour discussion about who brought the best sleeping bag and the best tent. Some people have sleeping bags made of pure down feather with 1,000-count thread sheets. A couple people brought tents with their own air conditioners. You walk, you slowly coming out of the forest. You slowly approach one of these tents. The flap is open. You walk inside, and there are two business moguls, high as a kite and out. They've probably taken like 10 Valiums. You pick up one with one fist, one with the other, holding on to the sleeping bags. They very dazedly come awake, and you bash their heads together so much so that if you saw it in slow motion, you'd see their heads and skulls crack and then flow into each other just a little bit. Jason, you've already gained the upper hand. Patrick Bateman, you are awoken in the middle of your night in your private cabin by a cracking sound, a sound that sounds a little bit like a broken skull, which you totally understand as you've taken a number of things upside people's heads before. Patrick, is there anything you'd like to do?
I'd like to exit my cabin and walk to the adjacent one.
Okay.
Can I take action inside that cabin?
I mean, the door is open. Inside that cabin are 4 lower-level executives, not people nearly as high as you. What are you doing there, Patrick?
What are the placements of their heads?
They are all sleeping. Well, their heads are on their pillows, if that helps. Or I guess their heads would be north. Let's say 2 of their heads are north, 1 of their heads is east, and 1 of their heads is west.
I'd like to use my gun to shoot one of them in the head.
Okay. You pull your gun. Give me a roll.
17. Wait, +5, yes.
Yep.
So
Okay.
22.
You shoot one in the head. They are dead. The other 3 immediately wake up. Wake up. One of them starts screaming. What do you do, Patrick?
I shoot them.
You shoot the rest of them?
Yes.
Oh. The thing popped out back in for a second. Not yet, John Carpenter. All right. Patrick Bateman, you have execution style killed 4 people. That's messed up, dude.
There will be no consequences.
Oh, thank you, Chris. But back to the carnage. Jason, you are near the lake when you hear a brief sound of screams coming from a cabin not far away. What do you do, Jason?
Well, I immediately do my patented head first, looking in the direction of the screams and then the gunfire, and turn my body towards it and walk directly towards the scream sound.
Patrick, 4 people dead. Now what are you going to do?
I'm going to exit the cabin, walk out into the woods. Are there other cabins?
There are other cabins, but there are also, it's hard to tell who it is, but there appears to be someone approaching the cabins right now. A taller gentleman. You can only see their silhouette. Perhaps a much lower level executive. You are unsure.
Well, he seems a tall fellow. I think I'll greet him.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Patrick Bateman, you walk forward to greet this gentleman, and as they step into the moonlight, you see a behemoth of a person wearing a hockey mask. That's pretty quaint.
I think I'll shoot him in the head.
Okay. Roll for me, please.
7, 2 + 5.
Okay. You raise your gun. You fire perfectly into the head. It causes a hole in the hockey mask, and the dude just stands there, like unfazed. Nothing happens at all. Jason, you've just been shot in the head, and you feel mildly annoyed.
Well, I look directly at this person who just shot me, and I take the machete, which is hanging from my belt, and I projectile it directly into his chest.
Oh, man, roll for that, baby.
And we're going to have, hold on, we're going to have a 6.
plus 3.
Plus the 3.
Makes it 9.
Makes it 9.
Which makes you very lucky because that's what I rolled too.
Yes.
So you have just made it. So, Patrick, you shoot this guy, nothing happens, and very quickly a machete comes off his belt and you said his chest?
Chest. Right into his chest.
Patrick, you have a fucking machete in your chest. This is a new feeling. Definitely new. What do you do, Patrick?
It seems I'm bleeding. I will remove the machete from my chest.
Okay, you now have a machete.
Can I throw it at him?
Yeah.
Using my ability, bullseye.
Oh yeah, you have that fucking ability. Fuck yeah, throw it back. Roll for it, baby. Roll for it, and add a 3 for the machete.
It's gonna be a 9.
9. Okay. This dude pulls the machete out of his chest, tosses it back at you. Where were you aiming, Patrick?
The head.
The head. Okay. The machete perfectly lands right here.
Ooh.
Where this old machete slash is.
Old machete mark.
This actually staggers you as the machete enters your head, blinds you temporarily, and goes into your brain. You stagger backwards a tiny bit. Wow, this is really good so far. Okay, Jason, your move. What do you do?
I use my eye that I can still see, obviously, after I stagger a couple steps, and I lunge right at him, grabbing his throat and squeezing.
Lunge. Okay. Could you both roll, actually? Because I don't think either of you are really known for speed.
True, I'm not really quick. I got 11.
Can you roll, Patrick?
It's a nat 1.
Oh shit, Pat. Okay, so this man lumbers towards you. You're a runner, Patrick. You turn to run and you fucking trip. You immediately trip, Patrick. What the heck, man? Jason, you grab this guy by the back of the neck like the scruff, lift him into the air, and you said you squeezed?
I squeeze his throat.
Okay. Patrick, this guy is squeezing the literal life out of you. You can feel like pressure on your head. You can feel like little bits of tendon being squeezed. His hand goes all the way around your neck, and you actually feel his fingers pressing into your windpipe. You can't breathe. What do you do, Patrick? Holy shit, they do.
Then I use stun.
Okay. How? Just in what way?
Grab my hand, hit it up against his head.
Okay, we're gonna say you do this really cool, like reaching behind you slap, where you clap both his ears at the same time. So, wham! That does not feel good. Jason, you drop Patrick, and Jason, you actually go down. Perhaps the machete did more damage than you think. Patrick, this dead man is on the ground. What do you do?
I'm going to shoot him in the head.
Okay, again. Roll? Roll and add the 5 again.
22.
Holy shit. Yep. Jason, you take 2 shots to the head. Patrick, you're pretty sure this guy is dead. You're not dead, Jason. It's your turn.
Of course I'm not dead. I'm undead. So I reach up, grab his hand with the gun in it, and crush his hand. Because he's standing right over me. Right?
Boom, boom, turn. Okay, fair enough. Yep, fair enough. That clocks out. All right. So you reach up. Can I get both of you to roll again? Just because you're not known for your speed, Jason, and Patrick is supposed to be known for his speed.
But he's right there, so if I'm fast enough to grab it, can I add my super strength and crush the gun and the hand?
Absolutely.
All right.
Roll off. Come on, Patrick. Get a better than
a 5.
What'd you get, Patrick?
A 5.
And Jason?
12.
Yeah. Okay. So you Patrick, you're pretty sure this guy is dead when a hand, as fast as a snake, lashes out, grabs your hand, crushing it. You can feel the bones splintering as the gun itself is crushed under the massive power of this behemoth. But don't worry, Patrick. You're a healthy man who's done a lot of drugs, so you still have a lot of energy, even if you don't have a gun. Patrick, it's your move. How do you go about face with this?
I think I will run.
All right.
Could my stalker ability work here to run to another cabin?
Yeah, that's fine. So
I can always catch up.
You bolt for it. Jason, this guy is running away. How do you think you're going to try to play this?
I take the machete from my head and throw it at him, hitting him in his left leg.
Roll, Jason, roll.
Oh, hold on. 8.
So Jason, you throw the machete, but Patrick gets inside a cabin, shutting the door behind him. The machete goes into the door. Patrick, you're in this cabin. There are 2 women executives in this cabin. So it's you and these 2 women, and Patrick, you're covered with blood. They wake up and see you covered with blood and your hand terribly mangled. What are you going to do, Patrick?
Can I strangle them both?
You only have one hand, so you can strangle one.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Oh, can I use stun? Let's use stun specifically.
To like stun one and then strangle the other? All right.
To like knock them out.
Do me a favor and roll.
It's going to be a 16.
Okay. So you move forward, you cover the mouth and nose of one of these poor girls. They struggle, but you are strong. The other one does manage to get away. Jason, you're approaching the cabin when a young lady in pajamas comes running out the door. What do you do, Jason?
She's running out the door, I presume, towards me. So I'm going to do the move where I, right as she's running towards me, clap on her head using my super strength and destroying her head, obliterating.
Oh, roll it.
4.
That was perfect. So yeah, this woman runs out. She's screaming. There's a killer in her cabin. Eyeballs all over the place. This is like Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. All right.
Yes.
So Patrick and Jason, you have both upped your health a little bit by killing some people.
Nice.
Jason, that guy is still in that cabin. Patrick, you know that someone is out there. Who does what?
Well, I'm going right through the door, just right through it. That's it. Maybe grabbing the machete that's still in the door and taking it out as I destroy the door, and I'm looking for him.
In this super cool move, you bust through the door and grab the machete, and the door breaks around the machete.
Nice.
So you're like, boom. So Patrick, you've just killed this poor girl. You're feeling a little bit better when the door literally busts open, and shit, it's that big dude with the machete.
I want to survey the room. What can I use here?
Okay, there are beds. There are some packs. You don't know what are in the packs. So if you're going to use something, I guess you could use a sheet to try to strangle a little bit. Maybe, hopefully, there's something in one of the packs, but you don't know. What do you want to do, Patrick?
Can I both grab a pack and jump through the window? I assume there's a window.
Yeah, roll for it again. You're a speedy dude.
It's gonna be a 7.
Okay. Jason, what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to use that machete as a projectile again and trying to hit him in the leg.
Okay. So, Patrick, you grab a bag, you go to jump through the window. When a machete enters... roll, I'm sorry. Roll, Jason. Roll.
18.
Yeah, okay. The machete goes through your leg, Patrick. Through your leg, sticking you to the floor, stopping you from jumping through the window. Patrick, you've got the bag. I'm assuming you're rifling through it for anything in the hopes of finding something?
Yes.
There is nothing in there but clothes, Patrick. If you're going to survive this, you're going to have to use your wits. Jason, what's your plan?
My plan is to grab. He's still in the cabin, yes, with me?
Yeah, he's stuck
because he didn't get out.
You put a machete through his leg.
Through his leg. So I'm going to take his head, the bed, the bar, because there was those old metal beds, and I'm going to curb stomp him style with my hand, the back of his head, open his mouth on the bar, and just shove it right through.
Patrick, if you're going to do anything, this is your chance.
I want to throw one of the garments at Jason's head to blind him using my stun ability.
Both of you, please roll.
Oh, yes. 10.
10.
Are you kidding me? Okay. So, Jason, you go forward to grab the guy when he throws a garment in your face. Oh, what's going on? Jason is blindly groping, and Patrick, you are able to duck his grope. This would be your chance to escape or do whatever. You still have a machete through your leg.
Wait, so I have the machete through my leg still?
Yeah.
That's going to stop me from escaping.
It's through the...
Can I pull the machete and run?
Yeah, sure. Give me another roll.
A 9.
You pull the machete out, but you can no longer run effectively with your leg wounded in such a way. But you now have a weapon. Jason, it's your move again. You pull the garment off your face. Oh, you know what? No, fuck it. As you're pulling the garment off your face, you accidentally pull down your mask, revealing a rotted, noseless face that could only be the face of a dead person. Patrick, this dead guy is fucking with you. Okay? But Jason, it is your move. What do you do?
I'm assuming that he cannot stand anything disgustingly and ugly. And that will stun him a little bit because he's so used to the finer things. And I'm grabbing him, and I'm going to finish off that curb stomp style on the bed with his head, with his mouth on it, just right through.
Just roll. Just roll. Don't overthink it.
10.
10. Okay. You go forward, Patrick. This would be your chance to do something. What do you do?
Bullseye. Machete. Head.
Roll.
3, not counting any dread bonus for machete. So I guess it'd be 6.
It's 3 plus 3 is 6. So, Patrick, you come back at and you bury the machete in his head again. Jason, your go.
I'm undead, so it don't faze me. So again, I'm grabbing his head on the bed, curb stomp style, his mouth around the bar, and right through the back of his head.
Roll.
8.
The machete hit exactly where you wanted it, Patrick, but Jason still comes at you, grabs your head, and he does exactly what he said. Curb stomps you right into the bar of the bed. Your mouth does one of those disgusting, things. It hits the back, and you fall to the ground. And Patrick, you're still alive, barely alive. Do you have any clever Hail Marys you can think of, Patrick?
This isn't real.
Okay, Jason, how do you finish him?
As he's trying to determine whether it's real or not, I show him how real it is, and I take my foot, use my super strength, and stomp his skull, destroying his head and brain.
All right, our winner for round 2 is none other than the Crystal Lake Killer, Jason himself. But I have to say, Patrick, you put up a hell of a fight. That was well done. So thank you both. Wow, that's going to stick with me forever.
That was fun.
All right. Whew.
A good thing my 10-year-old daughter didn't hear most of that.
That's what you're saying.
That's exactly.
I just want to know why Pat didn't do any coke. Like, he was in the room with all the packs. I'd have found some coke and got out and just been ready to go.
Cool.
Well. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We were just enjoying the match.
That was a good one.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, and I just
that was fun.
These wouldn't be as fun without Joey's narration. Like he brings energy.
No, that's the genius behind it.
You guys are cool.
I like you guys'
Scary.
creativity, though. There was a lot of creativity in the last two battles. So,
Well, it's pretty amazing your ability to find ways out of those. In case it happens that way. So kudos to you, brother. That's really creative yourself. It's awesome.
I mean, this is what I
cool.
do alone. Like, I watch a movie and I'm like, I wonder if Jason could take Ken.
So interesting story. I have a good for you moment. Oh, I'm sorry.
I know. Say Joe is like the creative force behind those events. Like, I'm very behind the scenes logistics to make things work. But
It says she's.
we can do this. We can do this. We're gonna have Jason versus
because
Michael.
they're at the same place.
Doing this, that, and the other thing, and all the clues and everything that we use for the end game. It's like, I mean, if I didn't have Joe, this wouldn't be as successful as it is.
And you're giving me far too much credit because we are not just a team of two. We have a number of amazing people doing awesome stuff. We have a brilliant props guy, Mike Trinacosta, who once buried himself alive just so he could come out of the grave as Jason.
Oh my God! Did he Uma Thurman that punch it?
It really was. It was
That
absolutely
is awesome.
amazing. We have got
We have our own Tommy Jarvis, our
Yep.
very good friend Nick Zittman, who looks like Tommy,
Perfect.
acts like he was born to be Tommy Jarvis.
Um,
And he's incredible.
we have a stunt woman is the great way to call Mary Engelhart, who has done a lot of our craziest stuff. She has died a number of times. She is a suspicious son of a bitch and a good suspect. And at our Bloody Valentine ball, she let Jason throat slam her into the ground. We've had the help of a lot of amazing people. Giving shout outs to Marissa Pona at the Jersey Ghouls, was an amazing producer, got us a lot of jobs, did a lot of great creative thinking, got us thinking outside the box. God, so many people have helped us out. We've had brilliant actors. Shout outs to Mike McSella, who was our Hannibal Lecter at the game last weekend. But who also
is so creepy. Like when he came, like you can ask Steven when he came on the screen with oh God, what was her name?
Jess.
Yeah,
Jess, she looked so freaked out, and he played on it so well. And then the back and forth between him and Steven, yes, I'm gonna talk him up a little bit. He's sitting there, Jess and them didn't come, so screw
Hey,
them.
what about the other guy?
What?
What about the other guy?
What other guy? What are you talking about?
John Cena!
Sorry, I had to. I just had to. I was waiting on it when you were thinking of the name. I was looking for it. I didn't get there, so I just had to set it up again.
Yeah, no, you guys, it's great. The way I found him is through actually Chris. He competed in their first live role-playing game, which was Cabin in the Woods. It was so much fun. The way they do it, it's interactive throughout the show. So, like, they'll put polls up where you guys can go to a certain thing, and you vote who's going to get what. It was myself, Jess, and him. We were supposed to be going to a car to get in our cars, and the killer left a present for her, and they decided who did it. They've got one coming out this year, this October with Hocus Pocus. That I am so looking forward to that. And I've already told them when they test it, if they need guinea pigs, to please reach out because
that's awesome.
I would still like to have seen Ready or Not one. I think the Ready or Not one would have been so entertaining.
That sounds really cool. I happen to work at the place where they filmed Jurassic World and Jurassic Park.
Alan.
So if you guys make it out to Hawaii, we'll set up an event. I just also happen to have an animatronic costume puppet of Blue. So
he's being humble. He is Blue.
I am Blue. So if you guys make it out here, we'll set that up, and you guys can do a whole thing where you got a dinosaur to actually eat somebody.
Oh, good for you.
Back in their shit now.
I mean, I just want to come and like just you and me, man. You and me in like a backyard somewhere. That's all I need.
Cool.
Well, no,
Hey,
not a backyard,
my
a
backyard.
kitchen, an industrial kitchen.
Nice. There we go. We'll do that.
And he's got to make the toe tap.
That's right. I can do that. I can make the toe tap.
All right. So.
All right. Well, hey, I gotta go because the kids are going nuts. But brother, your storytelling ability is actually really, really incredible. I would love to come do one of these events, and I mean it. If you guys ever find your way out to Hawaii, free place to stay, and yeah, we will set up an event for you guys out where I work at Kualoa Ranch. That would be a lot of fun. It would be cool. So yeah, keep.
You and
yes,
me,
definitely.
Going to start talking like in the bathtub at night.
Right on. Cool. All right.
Later, buddy.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
It was fun, guys. Aloha.
Alan.
Yeah.
Alan, ladies and gentlemen.
Alan. All right. So, who is next? I believe you've got one more to go.
Two more.
Two more.
I'll try not to keep you guys up too late. Right now, in the craziest matchup that I never thought would happen, we are going to go to Outpost 13, where an alien species is able to take over human life forms. But one of these humans has brought a good guy doll with them.
Wow.
It was a gift. In Chucky versus the Thing.
Booyah!
So we are deep in the heart of the Antarctic, where the scientists at Outpost 31 are doing all the crazy sciencey stuff they do. Little do they know that one of them has recently been assimilated and turned into an alien inhuman creature. They dug something up and it wasn't quite dead. Also, little do they know that a doll on one of their beds is actually inhabited by the soul of Charles Lee Ray. Whoever would like to go first?
I would like to go first. How many? I'll use, I guess, like intelligence to kind of look around, see how many humans there are around me.
There was 12. There is now 11. You have taken the form of one of these gentlemen.
Okay. I definitely want to at least isolate, try to isolate one or two in a room if possible.
Always smart.
All right, just do me a favor then and give me a D20 roll.
Mm-hmm. I got 17.
Okay. While you are coming up with various reasons, I trust you. No worries. I'm an honest man myself. While you are coming up with various reasons to get people alone and assimilate their bodies, Charles Lee Ray, how do you want to play this?
Well,
you both have the element of surprise, which is nice.
Yeah, neither of us knows that the other is there.
Mm-hmm.
The thing, you have managed to assimilate 2 other people.
Okay.
So, Chucky, what do you want to do?
All right, how many people are around me right now?
You are alone in a room. No one is in the room at the moment. Yeah.
Are the doors open?
Of course the doors are open.
All right. I'm going to start slinking around until I find somebody.
All right. Tap, 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 tap. Those creepy footsteps. The Thing. You've assimilated 2 people. What's the next goal?
I'm gonna continue to try to take out the crew little by little. I would like to assimilate all them before I before I go. I guess before I attack.
Can you give me another roll? And Chucky, can you give me a D20 roll as well?
3.
I got 4.
Okay. So, Chucky, you're walking around. Are you looking for anybody in particular? Are you looking to try to do anything?
I'm just trying to find somebody to kill.
You, do you want to go to a bedroom or like somewhere like a kitchen or a lab or a common room?
It would give me a few knives to play with. So I'd
Okay.
probably go.
Charles Lee Ray, you head into the kitchen. There is no one there at the moment, and I'm assuming you grab yourself one of these.
Nice. Yeah,
1 or
nice.
2. Yeah.
Okay. Chucky has a knife. The Thing, you have managed to assimilate another person. Are you still just walking around trying to assimilate people, The Thing?
Yes. I think I'll go to like a common room. I think that's probably my best bet.
All right. You go into a common room. There are about 4 gentlemen there at the moment, 2 of them playing pool, one of them reading a book, one of them watching some strange show on record. Chucky, you have a knife. Where are you going now? The Thing.
All right, so
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So what's the layout of this base? Is it like
It's mostly a bunch of
circle?
hallways and bedrooms. Yeah. It's mostly hallways and bedrooms with a couple other rooms. I did not create a map. I apologize.
Okay.
You tell me where you want to go, and I will put you there.
Okay.
Or tell me what you're looking for, and I will find it for you.
Well, obviously, I'm looking for people.
Okay. There are 2 guys in a bedroom. One of them is asleep. The other one is awake and listening to music with headphones.
So is the guy that has the headphones, is he laying down?
He is sitting in a swivel chair. His back is to you, and he is bopping along with the music. It looks like Chucky has frozen. So we are left with bated breath to wonder what Chucky will do. The Thing, what are you doing?
I'm assuming with all the noise going on in that room, I can take out the 4 people that are in the common room.
Ooh, you're
pretty
gonna take
handily.
You're gonna try to go for 4 people at once?
Yeah.
Okay, how are you doing this?
Because like I can break into multiple pieces, like my arms can come off and become their own organisms. My head can come off, become its own organism. So I'll do that, and each one will shoot out the tendrils, basically sucking the life out of those people, and I'll have basically be creating like a little army.
Oh, that's so messed up. Okay, can you roll the dice for me?
Yep. 2. Ugh.
Okay. So you walk into the middle of the room and you stand there, and someone's like, John, what's going on? Is everything all right? John. And then you try to split yourself into 4 pieces. Like an arm comes off and it starts crawling across the floor, and another half of your body starts limping forward and it grows like eyes and tentacles, and your torso becomes like this giant spider creature with like a ribcage exoskeleton, and the head grows tentacles and starts moving. And you were just way too obvious because 3 people bolt out of there, easily able to get away from you. And another guy pulls a gun and starts shooting you. So you take a little bit of damage, and unfortunately did not do as much as you'd like to do. They basically all escape. Chucky still appears to have appears to be gone, perhaps killing people on his own. So the Thing, how would you like to proceed?
I would definitely like to kind of reassemble and use the 4 people that I have taken over so far as maybe a decoy, go into a different body, kind of make up some story that something, wow, that was weird. Kind of get those other people on my side so that I don't stand out so much.
Gotcha. Okay, so one of the people you've assimilated is now totally recognizable as a weird alien creature. 3 of them are not. So people are like, we don't know what the hell's going on. John just turned into a thing. And one of the guys there has like been doing his research, and he looks like he might have diabetes, and he's like, he's not human anymore. We can't trust anybody. So it's just the plot of the Thing unfolding at this moment, because I don't know. I'm assuming Chucky's killing people. So this is just the plot of the Thing and the plot of Child's Play happening at the same time, but have not yet coincided.
Gotcha.
So they want your help in killing the other part of you. How you gonna play that, the Thing?
Devin has unlimited data on his phone, so we were able to come back.
Nice. I would suggest, or I think that I would suggest that we keep the maybe the parts that are there that we think are contaminated or whatnot, and we can, I can go back and get those later.
Okay.
So that way I don't lose that, because each time I absorb somebody, kind of gain their power or whatnot.
All right, so Chucky, I apologize. You were walking into that room with a knife. How are you playing this? Chucky is either standing very still or has once again frozen. Chucky appears to have frozen again. The Thing. They have killed the one version of you that they knew to be an alien.
Okay.
And now everyone is paranoid. How will you proceed, The Thing?
Well, I am a little nervous. I would like to send at least one of my people that I've assimilated. I'd like to send them to kind of be shoring up the spaceship in case I need to get the hell out of there. But ultimately, I'm still going to go with the plan that I had and try to just assimilate as many humans on board as possible, or in the area as possible.
Okay, can you give me another roll?
Yep. 7.
Okay. You were walking about. One person is checking out your spaceship. You get into a room with a guy alone, and you're like, all right, I'm definitely going to assimilate this guy. But it was a fucking trap. This guy laid a trap for you, man. And as you go to assimilate, he whips out a Molotov and burns you. So one of your forms has been burned. Yeah. So Once again, as the plot of the thing advances, Chucky is still out there doing something. Okay, yeah. All right. This is getting pretty bad. Okay. So at this point, a number of people have been assimilated. No one knows who they can trust anymore. And what's worse, a number of dead bodies have been found just stabbed to death. Like,
okay, I'm gonna use.
disemboweled and stuff. Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna use one of my assimilated bodies that people do have trust in still, and use intelligence to kind of isolate people that are curious, and then use my strength to overtake them, like kind of pick them off one at a time.
Okay.
Instead of the what I was doing.
Okay, give me another roll.
All right, come on. 13.
Okay. As you have been able to advance the plot of your own takeover unopposed by any supernatural beings, you have successfully managed to kill every living organism that you've been able to identify.
All right.
Now what?
So obviously I can't.
That never happens. Never ever happens.
Go ahead.
I can't absorb inorganic material, so that would be Chucky would be that. So obviously I would have found the doll at some point.
Well, yeah, you found a doll, but it's just a doll, obviously. So Chucky, just to catch you up a little bit, a lot has happened. Chucky, you've killed a few people. Just to give you a one-up, because you guys have blinked out a couple times. But as you've been walking around, holy shit, Chucky, there's like some weird alien invasion going on here. This alien thing has been taking over people's bodies, which is crazy because that's what you do, man. And at this point, the only two organisms left are this alien creature that you probably at some point have seen take over a body, which is messed up. Like, you kill people, but what that thing does is messed up, okay? But I'm just going to cut right to the good shit. The only things left are the thing and you, Chucky. And Chucky, the thing doesn't know that you're a living doll.
Wow, shit.
I want to see this movie.
I know, right?
So, Chucky, what would you like to try to do?
Be a sneaky little bastard and get behind the guy.
Okay.
So now I've seen him move.
Hang on a second. I want to know exactly what
Okay.
Chucky's going to do first. So you're getting behind the guy, and what are you doing?
Still have the knife, right?
Yeah, you still have the knife.
Good.
You stab him?
Pretty much.
Okay, so the thing, after you assimilated everyone, you were like, okay, all right. And you found this doll, and you were like, is this doll a baby? No, it's not a baby. This is what the humans call a doll. And it was a little creepy. So you just put it down, and then you walked away. And this doll got up, like you heard it just as it attacked, leapt off the bed, and stabbed you in the back with a knife, which is ultimately ineffective when attacking the thing.
Right.
The thing, what do you do?
I open up just like in the scene in the movie, and he comes crashing in, and I clamp down with those giant teeth.
Can you roll?
Right in half. Yep.
All right, do me a favor and roll.
17.
Okay, so Chucky, you leap with the knife. You're going to stab this guy. This guy's back opens up like a mouth, swallows you, and begins to chew you, cutting through your doll skin. Chucky, you're still alive, but you're inside this thing. What do you do, Chucky?
Is there any way to cut myself out of this?
Absolutely. I would like both of you to roll, please.
All right. I got 9.
And what do you get, Chucky?
9.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Keep me track. Okay. The thing, you try to keep this weird living thing inside you, but Chucky, you're able to successfully cut your way out. Chucky, you're covered in blood and gore, and that was fucked, man. That was like reverse birth shit right there. And now you both know what each other is. One's an alien and one's a living doll, which is, and like the thing, you're an alien, but like, man, this is weird. So who's doing what next?
I would use my powers of having different bodies to bring everybody together to kind of converge on Chucky.
Chucky, you are being surrounded by people that at this point you suspect are alien creatures. Feeling a little bad for Chucky. Chucky, what are you going to do?
I'm booking it to a laboratory.
Okay. Both of you roll again. This is just to see who's faster.
5.
What'd you get, Chucky?
I got a natural 1.
Oh, Chucky. Chucky. The thing, what are you doing?
I am going to have each person grab an arm, a leg, head, hair, anything they can, those shitty little overalls he has on, and just rip him to immortal shreds.
Chucky, you are dismembered limb from limb. You don't make it. But the thing, you learn as you're tearing this living doll to pieces that there does seem to be some organic components, and you assimilate them. And you understand that taking the form of a doll is an easier way to escape Outpost 31 when the rescue team arrives. That was crazy, guys, for a number of reasons. So thank you both. But yeah, Chucky, I'm sorry, Chucky, you died and the thing won that one.
Shit.
I just want to say that myself and Christine have decided we are going to write the script for that. We're going to send it to Sci-Fi.
It's happening. It's going to be the next great sci-fi franchise right there.
That's pretty good.
Sharknado 2.0. And then we're going to get Patrick Bateman to act.
Yes.
So at this point, this is your show. We're going on an hour and a half. We have one more battle left. We can get right to it, or if you have any more questions you wanted to ask.
It doesn't matter. We've gone upwards of 3 to 4 hours one time, so going long is not an issue. Devin's having fun. I know Kevin, by the look on his face, is having a blast. This is exactly what I hoped it was going to be. There's people watching. You're having fun. Apparently, Michael Byers doesn't want to be here anymore, but that's okay. So okay, I've got one for you. So you say it's more of an immersive theater sort of thing. Why did you go immersive? Because you could have taken what you guys done and gone straight to the extreme. We're gonna kind of like Scream Park in London, or Camp Overnight, and so where people bust in, they pull you out of your tent, wrap you up. We're gonna take you to this point. You're gonna get waterboarded here. Then we're gonna let you go. You can go back to your camp. We're gonna come back, get you again. But instead, you kind of have this story that you're going through. What made you decide to go that route opposed to the opposite?
For me personally, I'm just not into that stuff personally. I don't want to be waterboarded. I don't want to be choked by Santa. I don't want to have blood shoved in my mouth. Those aren't things that I want. I watch horror for the story. I like seeing people team up and take on a monster and take them down. I like being scared. I like genuinely being scared, but I want to be scared without knowing that I'm gonna like be zapped with a cattle prod or something like that. It's always
Kinky.
for me. Story has always been more important than anything else, and I'm not knocking an extreme haunt. I have nothing against them. Each to their own, as long as they're safe and you've got the consent, that is fine by me. But I'm a story guy, and I just want to put you in the story. That's what I want more than anything.
Awesome. Now my kid has 2 questions that he normally asks, which is kind of weird. I know a 10-year-old asks questions on this show. First is, what is something about you? I'd ask Christine the same question, but her device isn't connected, so she's kind of disappeared. What is something about you guys that most people don't know?
What is something about us that they don't know?
God.
Yeah, kind of the randomest shit in the world, basically.
Shit, I don't know. I feel like people know everything about me. I have a daughter who also absolutely loves horror movies. The other day we played Dream Warriors. Like she was Freddy and I was not. I died.
That was the first one I saw.
That would be fun.
The best one in my opinion.
It scared me.
And my daughter has her own Jason mask. We're a family of horror-loving weirdos.
There you go. Christine, same question. What's something about you most people don't know? Besides the fact you have John Moxley everywhere. That doesn't count.
I mean, I am a huge wrestling fan, which most people know about me. But something a lot of people don't know about me is I'm a huge Backstreet Boys fan. Like, I go back to that teeny bopper time. Like, that was
my first concert.
14 years old, and
that was literally my first concert.
Backstreet Boys battle, Backstreet all the way for me. Like,
Backstreet's
last year I left Monster Mania Con and went from there to the Backstreet Boys concert.
Oh my
So,
God,
you know,
we're back again.
two of my favorite things in one day.
Now,
Am I original? Yeah. Am I the only one?
I was just ripping on the Smallville theme.
Am I everything you need? You better rock your body now, everybody. Yeah, everyone. That was my first concert.
All right.
And I think like P. Diddy was the opening act. That was what was really interesting about it. Yeah, P. Diddy. He just changed his name. He was like, he's P. Diddy now.
Second,
Puff Daddy.
Yeah, he was Puff Daddy before. Because I saw it on the ticket. I was like, P. Diddy. I'm like, nah, who's P? They're like, oh, it's Puff Daddy. Nice. Grab the pork.
Are they friends or food?
No.
Yes, that is the exact answer we look for here. Is they can be friends until Chewbacca shows up, then they're food.
I'd eat the shit out of them.
You'd eat the shit out of them, Jesus.
Definite name of your sex.
So, okay, he's happy. Let's continue.
Oh, she's gone.
Let's go.
For our final battle, we will be journeying to Haddonfield, Illinois. Perhaps it is Halloween. It is Halloween night. Love it. And 40 years after his original spree, Michael Myers has once again escaped from the Smiths Grove Sanitarium and returned to Haddonfield to kill again. Also, someone else is there, and they might want to check the private chat. just them, not you, Michael. So get out of that private chat. You got that, Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
Check the private chat. Okay.
Oh,
So,
I'm good. I'm good.
Michael, which, by the way, you've got some dark eyes there, Michael. Devil's eyes, black eyes. Michael, it is night in Haddonfield, Illinois. A lot of the kids have already returned home from trick-or-treating. What are you doing, Michael? I believe our Michael actor is going to stay true to fashion and not talk at all. So I believe, should I be receiving a text from you, Michael? Michael's on Snapchat as well as Tinder, for those of you interested. Okay. Roll for me, Michael. Michael is stalking the streets of Haddonfield when he comes upon a group of drunken teenagers walking through the streets, and Michael makes quick work of them. However, maybe things aren't as they seem. Aaron, if you will, the floor is yours.
Well, I feel like the first thing I should do is make myself known to Haddonfield because, I mean, let's be honest, it's not Springwood. They don't care about me over here. So let's find some lonely drunk teenager that's lost his friend and show him how it's done.
Okay. You could literally do whatever you want. So the sky is the limit, Aaron. Do you have anything special in mind?
I feel like to get it started, just a classic glove through the chest kill is all it should take to get the attention of our silent friend over here.
So we're going to have one of those really dreadful moments. A Haddonfield teenager has had a night of debauchery and has finally gotten this young girlfriend of theirs alone, and they're going at it all hot and heavy. And then, like, the girl's tongue is like taffy, and it comes out of her mouth, and it's pulling, and it wraps around them. Oh my God. And you probably say something like, "Cat got your tongue," some shit like that. And this kid can't get away. And then you whap out the good old fashioned four fingers and you give it to him right through the chest.
Absolutely.
Michael, you are still walking through the streets of Haddonfield, but it feels almost as if you're in a dream. Something doesn't feel quite right. You've just killed 4 teenagers, but it doesn't have the same feel it always does. What's worse is that you feel like you're being watched, like you aren't alone. And that's something you do, not something that's usually done to you. What do you do, Michael? And Freddy, if you know what you're going to do, you can let me know as well.
I think for the moment, I'm just going to stick in the shadows. I think it's just more entertaining to watch our buddy Mike hear you Snapchat than it is to try and do anything.
Okay. Freddy, roll.
Absolutely.
Let me know what you roll, Freddy.
1.
Wow. Okay. So Freddy, you are watching and waiting. There is a strange man in a white mask walking through the streets, entering houses, and then He's gone. Somehow you've lost this guy. You didn't even think that was possible. What do you do now, Freddy?
Well, since this happens to be a dream, I think I'm just gonna manipulate myself in my location and find him. It's my playground, so I'm gonna find him.
Okay, so Michael, you slink into a house, disappearing into the shadows, feeling a little less watched. But as you turn, the suburban hallway behind you has taken on a orangish reddish hue. It's a little hotter, and you realize you are no longer in a suburban house, but in the basement of an impossibly large boiler room, the hallway seeming to stretch on forever. And standing far off, silhouetted against the orange light of this boiler room, is a small man wearing possibly a Christmas sweater. His right hand hanging awkwardly at his side. So at this point, y'all two are just face to face. The Shape versus the Springwood Slasher. Who's going to make the first move?
I feel like the best move at that point is to allow myself to dissolve into the walls. And at that moment, all around, as if the best speakers in the world are there. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better watch your fucking phone.
Okay. All right, so this character, Michael, walks into the walls, and then you start to hear like a nursery rhyme, and you can see past where the guy was standing a group of young girls, 3 of them. They appear to be jump roping in the middle of this hallway. I'm assuming you're going for them. Michael, moving faster than you should, you go forward to stab these young girls. 1 through the eye, 2 slit throat, 3 right through the chest. You feel a little better, but again, it feels a little bit empty. Freddy, the floor is yours again. How do you play this?
I feel like at that moment, as he is stabbing through the corpses of these women, we begin to see the women, the room, the dream dissolve around him as Michael falls into another empty room.
Ooh.
With no escape.
Ooh, this room looks exactly like your room at Smith's Grove, only larger. So I guess what are you going to do, Michael? All right. Michael, you go for the door, but the door is locked. Freddy, are you doing anything?
At that point, the shadows in the room start to engulf Michael, and there I appear behind him.
Ooh,
and as he turns, I disappear.
Okay.
And Michael has nowhere to go and no one to fight.
All right, so Michael, you turn to stab, and then it's like smoke. How are you gonna proceed with this, Michael? How do you fight a shadow? As Michael types, I'm open to any ideas you have, Freddy. Nice. Okay. Freddy, is there anything you wanted to try to do?
I think Michael should watch where he's looking on his phone. You never know what you might find in there.
Oh, okay. Michael's not actually in game looking on his phone. He's out of game on his phone.
It's more fun that way. That's good. It's good. Then no, let's just leave him staring around, wondering what to do.
Okay. Michael is looking around, and he stops, and he looks towards the window, just staring out the window, impossibly patient, as if he can see something beyond the walls of this sanitarium, beyond this moment, looking to right here, right now. And quickly, Michael's arm lashes out through the window, shattering the dream a little bit. And Freddy, your sweater is grabbed by Michael. Michael reaches up with the knife in hand and brings it down, and Michael stabs himself in the arm, waking himself up. Michael, you wake up in the sanitarium still. No, I want to keep you in your mask and shit. Fuck the sanitarium. You wake up wherever you sleep when you escape or wherever you go. So let's just say you're like in some weird, disgusting, empty room, like a homeless place. And you're not alone. Freddy, you have been pulled out of the dream. So whose turn is it?
I feel like the natural thing at that point, considering I'm no longer as strong as I was, is to make an escape. And I feel like the best way to hurt Michael is to hit the one thing he cares about. So since we're in Haddonfield, let's find the Strode house.
Okay. So first off, can both of you run? Because Freddy, you're trying to get out of there, but Michael was going for you now that you're in the real world. So both of you roll. Okay.
16.
Okay. So Michael, you go for Freddy, but he's already out and gone. And he's like flipping you the middle finger and he's saying some shit.
Catch you later.
Okay. So Freddy. Okay. So I guess the important thing now, Michael, is you're trying to find Freddy, right? Can both of you roll again?
13.
Okay. So Freddy, you are standing in the middle of the woods by a bunch of dummies that have been shot to pieces. And in front of you is a house. The house of Laurie Strode 40 years later. Just that, Michael. And you're just going to go in there and fuck shit up? You want to try to kill her before Michael can?
Absolutely.
All right. You walk toward the door when from out of the shadows steps the Shape himself. And once again, you are face to face with Michael. This time you're just right outside Laurie's house. Who does what?
Well, as I have a smaller frame than him, I am able to duck lower and maneuver away from him. And at that point, I would use my glove to swipe into his leg, as all he really has aside from swinging a knife is walking after people. So I attempt to take that out as much as I possibly can.
Okay, so Michael, you come out of the shadows, knife drawn. Go ahead. Whatever you're typing. Is this finish typing? That'll help. Freddy, give me a roll real quick.
6.
Okay. So Michael comes out with his knife, but Freddy, like you said, you dodge, weave, you slash at the legs, drawing blood. Michael, can you give me a roll? I saw it. Don't worry, Michael. I saw it. Okay. Michael, you try to grab for Freddy, but Freddy sort of snakes his way out of your grip. Freddy, it's your move again. What do? You slashed Michael's legs, and we're going to say he dropped to like a knee. So what do you do? Freddy.
I am at that point, while he is on the ground, going to get ballsy for a second and go back in and attempt to take one of his hands off, particularly the hand that is holding his weapon.
Okay. Can both of you roll again?
Okay. 14.
Okay. Freddy, you've faced brutes like this before. You go in, and as Michael goes to slash, you take your finger knives, slash his fingers. Michael's forefingers drop off, and the knife clatters to the ground. Freddy, I'm going to say it's your move again. Now what?
I'm going to reach for the knife as quick as possible and attempt to make my way up the house to get to Lori, because at this point there has been enough chatter that she will begin to realize something is happening, so I need to get there as quickly as possible.
Okay. Michael, you can type and tell me what you're going to do. But Freddy, you've grabbed the knife, so now you've got a kitchen knife and you've got your glove. And you are heading into the house. Freddy, the door is barred. How you going?
Wait, you there? Hold up, you're freezing up on me.
Oh, I'm sorry. The door is barred. Can you hear me? Oh, this isn't working. Freddy, can you hear me? Okay. Freddy pauses for just a moment, but it's a moment too long, and suddenly he is tackled by a shape, and they begin to wrestle back and forth on the ground. Screw it. Aaron's frozen. Let's do this, Michael. Let's do this, Michael. Let's do this shit. Oh, you bitch. Oh, I'm going for those eyes. I'm going for those, like, I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if you were coming back, so I just abandoned the RPG, and we're going to call it a stalemate, because we know Freddy's not dead. Stalemate of the night. I apologize. I didn't know. When you froze, I panicked, so...
Oh, yeah, no, that would be my shitty, cheap internet that is at my house at the moment. Literally, you can ask the others. Literally, I'll, like, freeze up, spin for a second, and then just refresh back in.
So Michael, like, chopped up your body, but that just puts you back in the dream realm, and, like, the next time he falls asleep, you probably, like, pretend to be Laurie, or Judith, his older sister, and then you, like... chop his head off or something. Chopping his head off works. Actually, you give Michael this really horrible nightmare where he escapes from the hospital again, and it's been 20 years later, and he goes to kill his sister, but somehow she gets the upper hand and chops his head off with an axe.
Truly sinister.
Okay, I think I'm done. Did everyone else leave? Is it just you and me, Aaron?
No,
they're there.
I was just sitting back, very entertained. I'm like, okay, let's keep this shit going. I was like, wait, so he killed him? What the fuck? Go back and reenact that stabbing scene again.
I know. I was fully invested in that.
Okay. So okay,
We should have put Aaron versus Nikki, and that would have been just a battle of the internet. And then I could have taken Michael.
Well, then I'd win because I'd last longer.
Right.
Title of your 60.
Right. All right, Joey. how did you come up with making like role-playing game or like RPGs based on stuff like this? Was this something you were into beforehand and you just kind of adopted the horror or the experience to it? Were you like a nerd in high school that played D&D and so forth? And I'm sure your better half will be more than willing to tell me if you're lying.
Why would I lie? I've always been a nerd. Absolutely. I started playing RPGs in high school. My first RPG ever was Call of Cthulhu, the Wizards of the Coast version, which came out in the early 2000s. And I immediately fell in love. And after my first session, I went out and bought my own book and I started writing my own RPGs. And I've just always loved horror. So at some point, at some point, I said RPGs are fun, but wouldn't it be great if we did this in person? And that's how it happened.
Did COVID just come up and you're like, well, since we can't, like hurt people or torment them physically or in person, is that how you kind of came up with Cabin? Because I don't think I've ever heard how you guys came about because, like I said, Chris just went, I know you like RPGs. You run a video game or a game debate here on the channel we're on. You should really check this out with us. And so how did that come to be?
I have loved RPGs, and Cabin in the Woods is one of my top 5 favorite scary movies. I actually created the Cabin in the Woods game as a going away present for a close friend of mine. And then when the pandemic hit, I just started doing a shit ton of RPGs with people. I was like doing RPGs with my old friends. I was doing new RPGs. I did a couple versions of the Cabin RPGs just for fun, like in private sessions. And after one of the sessions, my friend Mary, who I said helps us at Dark Hills, suggested we try doing it live and seeing what happens. And so we did it live.
Okay. Now, your better half. How do you feel about stuff like this? I'm sorry, Joey. I have love for both of you, but she's almost as sarcastic in the private chat as I am. So, I mean, what can I say? And I did accept your friend request on Facebook, by the way. I just did it while you guys were playing. So, what about you? Were you kind of the nerd in high school as well, or did he kind of run up on you?
Oh no, 100%. Like I loved all things like geeky and nerdy in high school, and Joe and I actually didn't meet until after college because I was at the time seeing one of his friends from high school, which is how we met, and kind of like realized we had a lot in common and lived together for a bit. There were a bunch of us, and it was just like one of those random things where it was like, hey, we should give this a shot. Like, do you like horror movies? I like horror movies. Do you want to run around the woods as Jason to chase people? I'm like,
perfect.
Yeah, let's do this.
Perfect.
It was love found in the dark. What can we say? Now, I want to talk to Patrick Bateman for a minute. Since you're here, we had a lot of fun. Like, you and I bounced off of each other. We've communicated back and forth, through our messages and so forth. But when we were playing our RPG, I really found myself wanting to do scenes with you just because it felt like our energies were going off of each other. We kind of had Joey, like, you could see him kind of getting, like, really more enthralled in it. Tell us about you, brother.
As a person?
Just overall, like, how did you put yourself in the realm of horror? How did you find them? Just a little about yourself, a little about your background, etc.
Okay, brief summary. I was born in Mississippi. Not super religious, like we're not talking Carrie level, but religious parents.
I'm from Georgia, so I totally get what you're talking about there.
I wasn't able to see a lot of horror movies as a kid, but they always fascinated me because kids would talk about them on the school bus, and I'd be like, "Wow, that seems cool." But I never saw them, and so then I finally got to watch a bunch of them, and I'm into this. I never got to go to any haunted houses, and I thought that always seemed really cool. So when I moved to New York, not like I couldn't, like I just never went out and did it. But when I moved to New York last year for college, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to haunted houses this year. That seems really cool. So I went to like 8 of them over the course of a month. And it started as like 4, and then it sort of filled out more. But I had 1 week where I wasn't doing anything. I was like, I'm not doing anything this weekend. This feels like such a waste. So I Googled like haunted house stuff going on, like weird haunted house stuff, and I came across this thing called Dark Hills Gaming. And I was like, this Camp Blood thing seems pretty cool. And it was like a week away, and I was like, sure, I'll book my ticket. So I did that. It was great. Probably my favorite thing I've done. Honestly, guys, I think it's super cool. If you get a chance, absolutely do it.
Okay, most people may not have seen it. I was going to go through and steal it. Let's explain the joke that you and I and Joey have been talking about, being choked with Santa. Would you like to explain it while I find the picture?
Absolutely. So it was a Christmas show I went to with Will Wakefield with at Shock Theater in Long Island. So I went to that, and it's this very like physically intense show, but also very funny. It was a ton of fun. So I came there having basically no idea what was in store, and they took pictures of us while they tortured us. Famously poured eggnog all over us, and by poured I mean actually they poured it in his mouth and they poured it all over me.
Wait, eggnog?
No, it's not. It's not pour. It is waterboard. Let's.
Eggnog.
Wow.
As someone who got spit with the eggnog, less
That's
waterboard.
disturbing.
I love eggnog.
It's very thick.
Yeah, that's like a meal.
But the scent of eggnog on the train ride home.
I'd love some eggnog.
I had just some eggnog.
I love eggnog. They have it at the store already. Early every year. It's great.
Okay, so Steven, tell us about your background, because like we could see like while you were getting into character, like you actually changed clothes as you were coming on the screen. You pulled the glove on. You could see the kind of manipulation.
I can tell you about his background though. There's a wall. There's a door. There's darkness.
Kevin watched last week. He watched, their RPG that we played in, and you could see yourself, like, as you were kind of developing the darkness, you were pacing, and, like, you'd pull your tie down, and, like, your hair would get flipped up. Like you could see us, so, like, I'm taking my shirt off and thrusting my hair, and I turn my camera off and throw water on me. And what is your background?
Well, I'm a filmmaker is my main thing. I'm going to school for filmmaking, but I think acting is super cool. In high school, I did a bunch of plays and musicals and stuff. I played Dracula in a play, and I was the dentist in Little Shop of Horrors. So I have some horror connections in there too.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think like costumes are such a big part of how I get into a character. So.
Well, I just want to thank you, because people don't know this, but I literally reached out to you today and went, hey, we've got an open spot, and Joey and them are coming to, and they've got, this, and I kind of gave you the groundwork, and you're like, well, let me see who it is, and then you're like, wait, who's doing this? And I said it, and within minutes, you're like, yes, I'm game. So I want to thank you for that. Here it is, guys. Being choked to death by Santa.
Oh. And with that, we see the first development shot from Bad Santa 3.
I have a question for you guys. I noticed on your logo, one of the 4 buzzwords around the logo is team building. What kind of team building stuff do you do?
Believe it or not,
we take woods and chase them around with chainsaws.
No. Believe it or not, a lot of the events we throw together are about team building.
Sure.
If we do an event specifically for like a corporate person or for people who want team building, we'll work more team building stuff into it. Last year we had an event called Bloodhurst, which was modeled after Friday the 13th Part 5. where everyone came and it was all about team building, and it involved fighting Jason.
That's pretty awesome.
So there were these elements of working together to get through things, but also people were paranoid because you might be a killer. Our it event was all about team building. Like if you didn't work with your friends, you weren't going to be able to stop Pennywise. But at our core, like I said, I believe in the horror narrative of like if you work together and love one another, you can take down any evil, and that's what we try to capture. Sometimes we totally like trick people and fuck with your head, but mostly, yeah.
I feel like that comes very natural. You know, when you have a group of people that could potentially fucking die together, it brings a sense of closeness and togetherness that you don't get in a lot of other situations because, you know, you want to live.
Right.
You would be surprised. You would absolutely be surprised.
It's the delivery of that was so awesome.
I've done like the escape rooms and stuff, so I mean, I feel like it's that same general idea as like, you know, but I could see it being on a much more extreme level. Which is cool.
You don't want to do that with me. Last time I did an escape room, I worked with them for about half the time. Then I started figuring it out and was like, all right, fuck you, I'm doing this.
Once you throw fear in, it really fucks with people's heads. Oh, yeah. And I hate to say it, but more often than not, people abandon each other. And it's
oh wow,
it's extra beautiful when they're married. It's extra beautiful because it's like I've literally stood behind like a wall waiting and heard people approach and heard this conversation verbatim. If fucking Jason comes out, you better not leave me. No matter what happens, you better not leave. You stay with me. And then Jason comes out and
gone.
That
is fantastic.
The person making the threats.
Yeah, we ever saw our very first event where we ran with just friends. We had a couple who was engaged at that point.
Yes.
Or just about to be engaged.
Yeah.
And Jason came out, and our friend, Chris Bell, if you watched this.
Kate fell.
Yeah.
Kate tripped like in a horror movie.
His girlfriend like you would expect. And instead of just running off, he went back for her. And Jason came out and killed him. And she's screaming at him as she gets up and run away. You idiot! Why did you come back? Why did you let me run?
Yeah. That's great.
That is awesome.
Well, actually,
that really is awesome.
That story kind of leads me into something I thought of. You know, there's a thing where a lot of different groups and people have stereotypes behind them, and there's this idea that like stereotypes come from reality. So one of the things I wanted to ask you is, in running an event that is so thoroughly based on recreating the horror experience, how many stereotypes do you guys see? Like, how many times do people fall? Do the black people die first? Do people just spontaneously start having sex in the woods? Like, how many times does this happen while you're...
And is that allowed and or encouraged?
No. That's people's death. Yes. Okay? That's people's death.
At an event.
No, yeah, it was not enjoyable. No. So first and foremost, we are a no stacks. Well, we'd like you to have no stacks because
very Christian.
No alcohol, no drugs. But you know what? We have definitely learned that when you put people in horror movie situations, horror movie shit happens. When you're running scared in the dark, you trip and fall on nothing. Right. All the time. All the fucking time. My favorite...
on air. It happens.
I trip over something at least 3 times. It happens.
My favorite horror movie moment, the most cliche thing to ever happen, is Jason is coming for this guy, and it's this one guy and this group behind him, and he's got like a gun. It's a fake gun, obviously. It's for show. Like, well, it fires like foam projectiles, right? Okay. So Jason's coming for this guy, and they're on this tiny little bridge, and he's got this gun, and he's like, I swear to God, Jason, if you take one more step, I'm going to blow you to pieces. Like, he's fully into this. He has forgotten that this isn't real. Everything has gone but this moment. And Jason takes one step forward onto that bridge, and the guy pulls the trigger, and the fucking gun went click.
Oh, shit.
And he screams, fuck, it jammed, run. And everybody peels out. So brilliant.
That's awesome.
Steven, I feel like you can attest. There had to have been some sort of cliche horror movie moment that happened to you.
I'm trying to make cliches, but it's like absolutely like after you go to one of the Dark Hills events, it's like you just saw like a 3-hour horror movie while you're on like a bunch of drugs, and it's like this whole like fever dream and stuff. Like in my experience, I became friends with some people who were also there playing board games before like the event really started. So then we teamed up for like the trivia game, which like led directly into the actual like getting hunted by the killer. So like we like had our gang and stuff, and we knew each other, we trusted each other. Turned out 2 of those people were some of the killers. Horror movie says.
Naturally.
All right, Game Master. We can keep talking, but let's get to this battle royale.
Unfortunately, Jason had to go, and I don't feel it's fair to do a battle royale without Jason. So I'd like to think that we're all winners here tonight.
That worked for us. That absolutely works for us. If you'd like to tell us another story, we can. Or if you guys would like to rap, we can absolutely do that.
My name is Joe, and I'm from Dark Hills. I like to kills.
Not that kind of rapping.
You did a better job rhyming than I did, according to the private chat. So
this is true.
Thank you for sharing that.
No, actually, I was gonna say if you guys have time for one more final question, I guess, to kind of dig into the creative of it a bit. You guys have talked about how you have based your events on a lot of horror movies, whether it be something a little older or something a little more modern. What is a unique horror film that you guys each personally love that you haven't based an event on yet that you think could actually work really well in the future?
Christina, you can go first.
They're like, we're not telling you because that's no.
No,
unless you have it set up and for legal reasons you cannot mention it, then blink twice.
No, nothing like that.
My goal at one point is to do a Candyman event.
Oh.
And I would love for it to be an escape-style event.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. We would love to have some kind of a warehouse or multiple room area where Candyman would come out of the shadows at some point to do kills, and then just kind of go back into the shadows. And it was something we had actually planned on doing, but unfortunately we couldn't find a good space, and then COVID happened.
We actually we were talking with a company in Virginia. I can't remember the name of the company, but my good friend Joe Rogers works for them, and they do a lot of Civil War reenactments, stuff like that. They're a big part of a Civil War museum down there, and we were talking with them about doing not just a Candyman event, but if you do a Candyman event, you can't shy away from what the Candyman is about. So we wanted to do a Candyman event that would like you would
really good backstory.
Candyman is a really good horror movie.
Like that underlying tone of Candyman.
Yeah, like we wanted people walking away being like, "What the fuck is wrong with me?" Like. That's a good one.
Well, I think that's a great pick, and with the reboot, remake, sequel, whatever it is, actually being pushed into with being pushed into next year, I think that'd be a great time to try and theme it whenever it's hit.
Oh yeah.
Should the world open next year? I mean, who knows at this point, but
and that was
True
our
that.
goal initially, was to kind of plan it like to start, because we wanted to do like a month long thing. We did it like every weekend. And we wanted to start it right around the time that the reboot was coming out. Obviously, with COVID, everything came.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think for us that's kind of beneficial in the long run because it gives us more time to plan and really put the time and the effort and the love into these events and making sure that everyone who's paying to come is getting what they want out of these events. And for us, because we don't want to do anything half-assed.
Never.
We want to give these events as much love as we feel for them and as you as the fans feel for them. And if we can't do that, we don't want to do it.
I have one dream that I want to do more than anything in the world. And
Cracking up, so it's got to be something good.
No, I have literally like every day that we do something for Dark Hills, I see as another step forward towards this one specific event. I'm always thinking about it, always writing stuff down, trying to figure out ways to do it. I ran a tiny version of it once. There was a bachelorette party that hired Dark Hills. They wanted a very specific bachelorette, so I did a tiny version of this. But more than anything, I want to do a Nightmare on Elm Street event. I want to do it.
That'd be
Oh,
awesome.
an actual Elm Street
Justice.
would be really nice.
I'm surprised you haven't done that yet. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to just have it be like Freddy wandering around. Like,
Oh, I see.
I want like a Dream Warriors hospital where you don't know what's going to happen. Are the fucking walls going to start coming out? Is Freddy just going to appear at the end of a hallway?
Get some pipes, get some steam.
The long arms.
We'd have to rig so much stuff. I want like a fucking snake Freddy. I have so many hopes and dreams for that. That every day is just about building towards that. And if I'm lucky, God, one day I'll get to do it.
I like y'all's passion about this kind of stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like horror stuff too. But I mean, the level that you guys take it to, you just make it fun to listen to the stories, to just think about that kind of stuff. It's really cool. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, this was absolutely fun. Does anybody have any last things they want to ask? Besides the fact that I want them to come back next week and do another game, but that's just, This was an absolute blast. Kevin and I were talking in our own little chat. What makes this game so much fun is, Joe, it's your personality. It's the way that you throw yourself into it. Just sitting here listening, like the fact when Aaron was having trouble with his internet, like the two of you stood up and started stabbing each other, and it's even just sitting in the audience while you guys do one of your games and not playing. It's so much fun because you make it so easy for somebody who's never played before. Kevin said he hasn't played since he was in college. Aaron says he's never played before. And you've adapted these so it's just fluid. And anytime you guys have something you want to test, you have something you want to do, a Saturday night, you guys are like, you know what? You're like, I've got a game I want to play. I'm itching to get them together. Please reach out. I know everybody here had an absolute blast. Steven, thank you for stepping in at the last minute.
Thanks for having me.
Steven, why don't you tell the audience where people can find you on the internet? I know you've got your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel. Maybe we can throw that in the chat. I'll send a link in the private chat if someone send it. But I post short films, and I'm trying to get into video essays. Nice. So if that's something you're into.
Absolutely, yeah. Drop that in the chat, then I will also put that in the description of the video. Joe, why don't you tell us where everybody can find what you guys are doing over at Dark Hills?
Absolutely. You can find us at Facebook. We're on Instagram, all Dark Hills events, and you can go to our website at www.darkhillsevents.com, where if you'd like, you can schedule a private remote event, whether that be Cabin in the Woods or Camp Blood or something else. And
give us your ideas and we'll make it work.
Yes.
We do.
And one day we'll be back live. And once we're live, you're dead.
Ooh. Do it.
And Joe and I are both on Facebook, like, separately. So, find us, friend us, talk to us about, horror movies and stuff you want to see and whatever.
We're nice people.
Yeah, we like friends. We'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
We're people.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye out. The link to their Facebook group is where you find what they're doing remotely. Their monthly games are there. Again, being Halloween, they've decided. Actually, the people have spoken, and they're going to do a Hocus Pocus. I was rooting for 13 Ghosts. Personally, I absolutely love 13 Ghosts. I think that is one of the most underrated horror movies of all time, but that's just me. Hocus Pocus is going to be great because knowing the two of them and their team is absolutely fabulous. You guys know the rest of us, where you can find the rest of us. Guys, this was 2.5 hours of absolute fun. I'm going to hit the exit button, and everybody take it easy and be kind to each other.